That's disgusting. What the heck?
Angel Knot.
Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy, Young Sinai. So, I came to a conclusion. On the last video, you may or may not have noticed that I did opt for the AYANEO Pocket DS, right? I did opt for that AYANEO Pocket DS. But then I went on a trip, okay? I went on a trip to Chicago. I was on a train ride for many, many hours. And I thought I was going to be productive on this train ride, right? I brought my laptop to get some work done. I brought some games to play because, you know, playing games is very productive. And the whole time, I just could not stop thinking about, do I want the Pocket DS or the Thor? And the whole train ride, basically, there and back, was just me watching videos that I've seen over and over about which of these devices do I want. Even though before I left, I recorded the video saying, you know, that I was going back and forth, and I mentioned in it that I was getting the Pocket DS. I don't think a lot of people caught that I did mention I was getting a Pocket DS. It was a guy sitting diagonally across from me, and we started talking about games. He was playing Silk Song. Yo, it was 3 people on the train playing Silk Song. I asked him, I said, yo, these are the 2 handhelds. Which do you think I should get? He said the Thor. So I was like, am I going to take this random stranger's advice over what I already picked? And I just started thinking about the Thor more and more. That rhymes. And I came to the conclusion that I'm getting the Thor. Lucky insert a yay. So I came up with the list of reasons why, okay? And we're going to do a deep dive. And hopefully this will help some of you all make your decision. Because some of you in the comments, you know, you didn't know which one you were going to get. A lot of you are like, hey, I want to get both. Most of you were already going to get the Thor and was telling me I should get the Thor. I canceled my Pocket DS order, and I did indeed order the Thor. The reasons why I decided I'm going to go ahead and get the Thor. And like I said, I took notes. It's because I want to cover everything. For starters, I want something that's going to fit in my pocket, okay? I want something to fit in my pocket. My wife goes into too many boring stores for me to not be able to play Mega Man X and just pull it out and have it, you know, in my pocket. She goes to Kohl's and Marshall's and Ross. Oh, and don't let me get started on if she's getting clothes for the kids and goes to Once Upon a Child. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be in there for 75 hours. So I have to have something that I can fit in my pocket. Okay. The AYN Odin, I have the AYN Odin 2, and I never thought that screen was too small. So I'm going back and forth. Do I want this 6-inch screen or this 7-inch screen? The 7-inch screen is huge, but I never once thought that the AYN Odin 2 screen was small. In fact, I actually switched over to it because I thought this is a great size to play games on. Next, I thought that the bottom screen was too small, but I'm going to show you all, you know, kind of what that size actually looks like, because on paper it seems small, but in reality it's not that small. And we're going to do some you know, comparisons of handhelds so that we all get a clear view of what that bottom screen is going to look like, okay? but we'll get to that later. But also, that bottom screen typically is mostly used for maps and inventory. So it does not have to be as big as, you know, the Pocket DS. It does not need to be a 5-inch screen. Also, I know this is a personal problem for me, but if I had a large bottom screen, I would be tempted to work on it. That's just me. I know. Tempted to work on a handheld? Yes, because I would play the game at the top, and a lot of my team, they work through Messenger. And so I would be sending Facebook messages at the bottom, playing the game at the top. I don't want to do that with this device. That's disgusting. What the heck? Why on earth? Why on earth would I want to destroy such a beautiful handheld by doing work on it? You know what I'm saying? So, next, I already own enough big handhelds. Okay? I have a Steam Deck, right? I have the AYN Odin, which I know the screen is this size, but these controls being on these sides makes it pretty big. I have the original Switch, right? I have a G Cloud. I have large handhelds. So in order for me to justify getting a new handheld, it needs to serve a new purpose. It can't overlap in purposes. It needs to be able to fit in my pocket. The 3DS XL is a perfect size handheld. This fits in your pocket great. And the Thor is going to be basically this same size, except with this filled up, right? And this fits in my pocket pretty good. Next, AYN makes great product. I love my Odin too. Okay, that's probably one of, if not my favorite handhelds. I know AYANEO has this reputation for premium devices, but I've never owned an AYANEO device, so I can't firsthand say that they're a good company as far as their quality, because I've never owned it personally. It's all hearsay. Next, I know this is small. It's not a big deal, but the LED lights, man. The LED lights look so good on the Odin 2. I don't want to give that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, my bad. I'm trying to turn it on, but it's taking too long. Forget that. But just those LED lights, man, just something about them just looks so good. You know what I'm saying? Next, the headphone jack. Who does AYANEO think they are, taking away our headphone jack? Do they think they're Apple or something? Do they think they're Apple? I'm being dead serious. Does AYANEO think that they're Apple, taking away the headphone jack? They had me on Amazon trying to look for some cheap Bluetooth headphones. Man, I ain't finna do all that crap, you know what I'm saying? But also, people keep making the statement, that the hinge may break. And if I hear one more person try to make the joke saying, "and all hinges on the hinge," that was funny the first time I saw it, but not the 75th, okay? But people are tripping off the hinge breaking because, Retroid and AYN are sister companies and blah, 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 blah. We all heard a million times. I don't think people are tripping off the fact that AYN is giving a year warranty with this device. So hopefully we should be good, right? Hopefully there's no cracks and all that. But if it does, the year warranty, people are completely ignoring that. So if you are holding off getting it because you're worried about the hinges and you don't want to be a guinea pig or whatever, just keep in mind that there is that 1 year warranty. I also I also got it because of the lanyard hole. Okay. Now, okay. At the risk of sounding like a girl, I just want this thing to be pretty. You feel me?
LOL.
This is the closest thing I'm gonna get to a purse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, man, the lanyard hole got me wanting to go on Etsy, get this mug all dolled up. You feel me? Might give me a little lanyard with a Mew or like a little lanyard with a Pikachu or something. You feel me? So that's a small aspect. I'm not gonna lie. So I went with a black model because I love black handhelds, black and DMG gray. Now, don't get me wrong, that gray with the Skittle color buttons, that mud did look hard, but when I get handhelds that are not black, I just get buyer's remorse. And I'm like, man, I should have just got black for real. So I went with black. I actually went with the Max, the 16 gigabyte, 1 terabyte model. I just went with it because it's overkill. I ain't gonna lie. I don't got no deep reason other than that. I'm trying to have it as future proof as possible. I'm not trying to keep buying all these daggone retro handhelds. Even though I love them, I just got too many of them. You feel me? So I also just like, yo, it would be so cold to have a 1 terabyte handheld, and then have a 1 terabyte SD card just loading that mug up. We are in the time of our lives. We wanted this so bad as children, and the moment is here. So before I get into these size comparisons, I want to give you all a word of advice. So when you are making your purchase, make sure that you remove this worry-free purchase. Now, this is just my own recommendation. Buyer beware, do what you do. But I feel like they just trying to sell us some insurance, right? Like everything tries to sell you insurance. Shoot, you go to Chipotle and get a burrito, they trying to sell you insurance on that mug. But they add this automatically, which I feel like is super scummy. Like they should be an add-on if you want it, but they automatically add this. So make sure that if you want to remove this, that you remove it. Okay. If you want to leave it on, obviously leave it on. But I'm just giving you a heads up because it's an extra $5. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. All right, but I want to go ahead and do some of these size comparisons so you all can get a feel for what that 4-inch screen will look like, because that was almost a deal breaker for me. Okay, but it's no longer a deal breaker, and I'm going to show you all why. Okay, so the AYN Thor, the screen size is 6 inches. Okay, this is the AYN Odin 2. This is a huge screen. Okay, now what helped me come to the conclusion that a 3.92-inch screen isn't bad is one of my favorite handhelds of all time is the Anbernic RG35XX SP, the longest name in the world for a handheld. So if I imagine this under it, well, this is 3.5 inches. Okay, so it means it would be even bigger than this. Also, I've reviewed the Game Kitty Bubble, right? And this screen is also 3.5 inches. I know it's kind of hard to tell because, it has a black border, but this is a 3.5-inch screen, and it is suitable. Next, one of the handhelds that everyone loves and rants on and on about is the Analog Pocket. This is a 3.5-inch display. So it's bigger than this. Next, this is the Trim UI brick. Okay. I've been using this like all week. And don't worry, guys. I know I say that I'm giving away a Trim UI brick, and I said I was giving away my personal one. I'm going to hang on to this. However, the contest is still going on. I'll just get you a brand new Trim UI brick. You feel me? Even better. So anyways, I digress. Well, hold on. While we're on subject, please make sure that you subscribe, and then you can go to the post on my channel and you can see how to win a Trim UI brick. Okay. Side note, my bad. Let's get back on topic. Anyways, this is only a 3.2 inch display, and I've been playing this thing all week. Okay. Next, let's put up some Nintendo devices. Okay. So, all right. So this is my son. Shout out to him. This is my son's 2DS. And the top is 3.53 inches and the bottom is 3.2 inches. So the Thor has a bigger screen than this main display. Okay. Next, this is my 3DS XL. Okay. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty, you know what I'm saying? But what's going to be dope is, like I said before, this whole screen is going to be pretty much, or this whole top part is pretty much going to be screen. That should be dope. Now, this bottom screen, it is bigger than the bottom screen of the Thor. It's actually 4.18 inches. So, you know, and that's what had me thinking like, oh man, I'm going to be missing out because this screen is so big. But then, like I said, when I took into consideration the screen sizes for the other screens that I use all the freaking time, I was like, okay, well, it's not that bad. But just imagine this, guys. This whole screen's going to be filled up, but it's going to be this size, basically. Dope. Next, we have my daughter's Peppa Pig case with her DS Lite in it. Okay. This was my dad's before he passed away. Rest in peace. And man, this mug is gross. That's how you know kids be messing with stuff, man. Kids stuff be so gross. Anyways, the DS Lite has 3.12 inch displays. And I don't know if you played on one of these, but it's a ton of fun. Like, this was one of my favorite handhelds growing up. Lastly, the OG Game Boy, DMG. We are so spoiled nowadays. We're over here concerned about screen sizes, but this had one color of green. But this screen size is about 2.5 inches, I think. Let me double check that. Shout outs to my daughter. She got me this yardstick, you feel me? She got me this yardstick from school, from her last day of school, because my son broke my other one because he was using it as a sword. Okay, so shout outs to her. But yeah, this mug about 2.5 inches. You feel me? And this was perfectly fine. Okay. So I know many of you may not be concerned about that bottom screen, but I definitely was. Okay. So I hope that gives some perspective and helps you all to come to a conclusion with what you're going to do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with me. Please, please, please like and subscribe. I'm on my journey to my first 1,000 subs. I got to hit 1,000 subs before the end of December so I can get monetized. You know what I'm saying? And I would appreciate that. So thank you guys so much. God bless and salutations to the nations. Peace. Russ and Tech Dweeb, drop your videos for the Thor if you haven't already by the time this gets edited. Peace.
Angel Knot.